to be here this evening to present Cindy for entrance into the Cedar Crest Hall of Fame. Cindy attended Cedar Crest College despite the fact that we didn't have a softball team. That was her favorite sport. She played on a team in North Schuylkill and a team that she was a catcher on as well as a pitcher. And she went to the state tournaments twice while in high school. So it was really a tough decision for her to end up coming to Cedar Crest without having softball here. She did, however, come and find other sports to play. She played basketball and badminton and became a champion in badminton at Cedar Crest. She graduated in 1984, went to work at the college as a special events coordinator. Later went on to become director of admissions and eventually as assistant to the president for institutional advancement. Before leaving that position, or at the end of that position, she left to become a trustee of the college. In the spring of 1997, Cindy donated the softball field that well, not the one that we have now. She donated a softball field on campus. That is where the Da Vinci Center now stands. So we moved the softball field to another part of campus so that we could keep Cindy's dream of a softball field on this campus. This was part of her support of the new NCAA Division III varsity softball team that was starting at the college that year. Cindy not only supported sports at Cedar Crest, but also in the community. She was recognized nationally when she received the Lifetime Achievement Award from GOALS, Girls and Women's Opportunities for Achievement, for bringing this program to the Lehigh Valley. This was a program that was sponsored by the Women's Sports Foundation. In June 2000, Cindy was elected to the Women's Sports Foundation's Board of Trustees. She served in this role for the next 6 years. And during that time, she brought some fantastic people to the Cedar Crest campus. We had Robin Roberts here, we had Billie Jean King, we had Mary Ellen Clark, we had Julie Foudy, number of well-known athletes that hopefully some of you know the names. I know when Billie Jean King came, the current students all said, who? But whether it's been buying treadmills for the residence halls here or giving a softball field, Cindy has always believed in supporting girls and women in the world of sports and fitness. She has always strived to bring equality to women's sports. It is for this reason that we honor Cindy Blaschak tonight with membership in the Cedar Crest Athletic Hall of Fame for her support of athletics at the college.
We will actually be rededicating the field to Cindy on October 12th for our first annual athletic homecoming. With that, softball extended to a 6-game winning streak tonight. So, now I'd like to welcome Dr. Diane Moyer to the podium.
I'll go this way.
Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Diane Moyer. I'm a faculty member in the Department of Psychology. So what an honor to be here with you. I see many familiar faces I haven't seen in many years, so I feel a little choked up, and it's a wonderful event. So good to be here with you tonight. I get the honor of talking a little bit about Gracia. So the majority, I think, in this room know a little bit about Gracia, so I'll only tell the truth. Are you going to flash her wonderful history up here?
Oh. That's the school ID photo. No, that's a good picture.
That's Gracia. I'll let all her accolades be up here on the slide for you, but I want to give you one of my first memories of Gracia. I was interviewing for a faculty position. And of course it was important that I get to meet the people in psychology department. Where's Jane? Okay, my colleague in psychology over there. But I also wanted to meet the athletic director. And so I called up Gracia and made an appointment, and I was nervous, thinking, Gracia, So it was important to meet Gracia, and it was really to my pleasant surprise that I met a wonderful individual who became such an inspiration to me and a longtime friend. So thank you for that, Gracia. So here's what I've learned about Gracia over the years. She's full of passion, spirit, enthusiasm, and she's a natural leader. She brings out the best in other people and encourages them to excel. And she does it in a way that allows them to have fun doing it. She's confident, poised under pressure, and easily earns the respect and loyalty of others. She's a straight shooter. Many of you probably know. She says it as it is. And she does it all while being respectful to other people and shows kindness to them. She's generous of her time. She gave a lot to her staff, her athletes, and the entire community. And she's an animal lover, and she makes great dog treats. I remember that you in this room decided to give Gracia a present. And I think Jen, I don't know, you might have been the one that inspired me, I don't know, somebody. He had no place to go with Cece. Cece is a Rottweiler. Very, very small at the time, puppy. And all of you were so excited, I couldn't say, oh man, that's a risk, you know. Very busy lady. Yes, Dr. Moyer, but would you please take Cece home and keep Cece for us until the banquet tonight so that she doesn't see him? So I said, sure. So I had a Westie at home, and we all had a good time. And so I bought Cece back for the banquet, and you guys dressed her up with, I think it was a t-shirt. Is that what you put on? So out comes Cece to first meet Gracia, and it was a present and a surprise you guys gave her. Became a longtime companion and friend. She loved that dog. So her inspiration, her passion, her enthusiasm has been felt by many in this room and beyond this room. And so congratulations to a wonderful individual and a great friend.
It is my pleasure and honor to talk a little bit about Dr. Jane Ward. Let me talk about the equestrian team a little bit first. The team is a member of the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association, Zone 3 and Region 4. The team is comprised of riders of all levels. The club has riders that have never shown before and riders that have an abundance of experience. Everyone is always welcome to join. The team shows at different levels and classes. The equestrian team competes in 8 to 10 shows per year, both in the spring and fall. At each show, the horses are provided and the riders and horses are paired at the beginning of the show by lottery. That'd be a little scary if I was. So a horse draw, okay? This levels the playing field for all of the riders. One rider in each division is chosen by the coach as the point rider, the one whose points count in the team score. The team with the highest score at the end of the show wins. Individual riders who score high can receive an invitation to compete at the regional finals. We actually had our one rider this year compete in the regionals. The top 3 winners from the competition go on to the zone finals. From there, the top 2 riders progress to the national championships held each year in May. Cedar Crest College has been fortunate and has had riders compete in regionals for several years and have sent a few to the national competition. Jane Tyler Ward. It has been 20 years now that Jane Ward has been the advisor of the Cedar Crest College equestrian team. That's impressive in and of itself. In 1993, several students came to Jane about starting an equestrian team. They were officially recognized as a student organization on November 9th, 1993, and began competing in the spring of 1994. With about 5 riders, Gail Goldberg, Marcy Gaulick, Becky Fetzer, Eileen Ryan, and Dawn Fulmer. The most memorable moments that have occurred while Jane Ward has been the advisor, the 1996-97 equestrian team had 18 riders on it and were tied for 3rd in the region. Jane started working at Cedar Crest College in 1981. She has obtained her PhD, BA and MA, all from Delaware, University of Delaware. She is married and has 1 daughter, Beth. Her husband, James, also works at Cedar Crest College as a history professor. Jane can always be found around horses. Whether she is supporting the equestrian riders at an event or riding herself, she is always there from start to finish. It is Jane's tireless commitment and dedication to the success of the equestrian team that we are here to celebrate this evening. It is an absolute pleasure to work with Jane, and I am so honored to recognize her. Such a wonderful individual. It is our pleasure to welcome you into the Hall of Fame, class of 2013. Now I'd like to welcome Jacqueline Jake Sham to speak about Lisa Tanucci Barnett.
Just like Lisa, I had to write everything down so I wouldn't forget it. Hi, Tanucci. It's great to see you. It's been 20 years. What can I say about her? Well, I had to think about it for a while because I could hardly remember who she was and what she accomplished as an athlete at CCC. So you see, my notes are very brief. I had to make it quick, they told me, had to be short. Plus, after I just turned 60 in February, and I'm experiencing massive memory loss, I tried to think as much as I could about Lisa, but it just wasn't coming. So here's my notes. You were great while you're here. It's good to see you again. Gotcha. Check this out. There's a lot to say about Lisa Tanucci Barnett. She was a remarkable young woman. We called her Tanucci, which is a derivative of her maiden name, Tanucci. And we all called her that with a very endearing attitude. The first list of recollections that I would like to talk about Tanucci is hard to me to think far back, but I really don't have to because we've stayed friends for those 20 years. Even though we haven't seen each other, we've exchanged Christmas cards since those 20 years. She's always the first one to get her card in the mail. So it always comes right after Thanksgiving. And she always gives me a little update and always includes a note on her family. And I could see that because she writes that note and because she always sends me a picture, I have you guys from babies on out. But the important thing to know here is that's the kind of friendships at Cedar Crest that you develop. You know, you don't forget the people that you really, really connect with. But really what I wanted to say was that this is a true indication of Tanucci's dedication and how she's a dedicated person. This quality of Tanucci seems to be a natural quality for her. She displayed her dedication at Cedar Crest in a variety of ways. She was dedicated to her sports, of which she played 3: field hockey, basketball, and lacrosse. And I was lucky enough to be her coach for those. Did I coach you all 4 years in field hockey? Okay. I thought there might have been a little interim there. She displayed her dedication in every game I was lucky enough to coach. She played hard, with skilled aggression, and when the game looked like the other team was going to take it from us, she didn't let up. She always worked hard, and she continued to go for that goal. She was dedicated to play hard and do her best. Tanucci was also dedicated to her academics. Don't laugh.
I know.
No, it's true. While playing 3 sports, she was in the nursing major program, and that was extremely challenging. Tanucci worked for me in my office a little bit, and she would come in with her little cards, and when I had a break in my responsibilities that I was giving her, a lot of time I'd just say, I'll do it myself. I know how important your academics is to you. So, you need to spend time studying. Just 5 more pages. But with all the sports requirements, she was dedicated to do well in her nursing program. Her dedication was also revealed in the sense that she never missed a practice. Never. She never missed a game. She also never missed any of her clinical assignments during her nursing practicums when she had to report to the hospital. She'd leave in the morning, she'd be there 6-7 hours a day, and then she'd come out to the field hockey, basketball, lacrosse field, whichever season she was in. And I never once heard her complain, even though she had so much on her plate. Her nursing requirements sometimes caused her some anxiety in her decisions to do well in school, but Tanucci always pulled through. Tanucci also expressed her dedication to her teammates, while her skills and her natural athletic ability easily outshone her teammates. She never criticized. She never showed disappointment in her teammates. When they just couldn't perform at the level that she was able to perform at naturally, she would encourage them. And she would give them words of praise and support them to try again. So that brings me to her leadership quality. She served also as captain on how many of her squads. I'm 60 years old, so I can't remember any of that. It's somewhere in that cobweb memory. Her leadership was shown in her play and her determination. She was a leader on and off the field, and she served as a role model for her teammates. While others appeared and wanted to be like a Tanucci, she showed them what leadership really was like. She was always a hard worker. She was attentive to her task, and she put 100% energy into her sport, no matter which one she was playing, and her teammates. Tanucci certainly represents that type of leader. Only 6 more. Oh no, last time was 5, I can't count. Lastly, I cannot fail to mention that her natural athletic ability. She was fast as lightning. She was very agile to change direction on a dime, and she was undoubtedly feared by opponents among the other teams. They knew she was a threat. They couldn't keep up with her, even when, can't read my writing, even when she was driving down the court in basketball, her teammates couldn't even keep up with her. She was down at the court and her teammates were still back there. Whenever she represented, or when she sprinted, whenever she sprinted to the lacrosse goal, you knew that that ball was going to be in the goal. She would outrun her opponents like Willie Coyote, but she didn't end up losing like he always did. She would put that ball in the goal, and she'd be the first one back to the center field, ready to go again. In field hockey, she also expressed her agility, her speed, and her finesse. She would dodge her opponents, leaving them rooted in their positioning, wondering where she went. She kept control at the same time while she was making her opponents spin, not knowing where she was. And I knew where she was. She was on her way to the goal cage. I am really honored to have been able to be her coach because I was the lucky one. She is every coach's dream player. I'm sure that Tanucci received many MVPs which were voted by her teammates when playing sports. But the specific details are in those cobwebs, so I can't tell you any of the specifics. But I know that she accumulated many, many awards. I do know that she was a 1,000-point scorer in basketball, and I recently sent her a picture, maybe like 3 years ago, that was taken of the two of us that I found in the cobwebs. And, you know, we're both smiling. I had this really frizzy hair, bright yellow pants, you know, to match the team colors at that time. And I was really very proud of her because she was really the first athlete that I saw accomplish something like that, which is quite a challenge. Tanucci, I want to thank you for the years of being my dream player. Lastly, I ask only one question. Please, when you send me the Christmas card, could you put your return address on it?
Oh, you're right. I was wondering why I didn't get a card.
That's why. Because my address book is somewhere in those cobwebs.
That's why.
But I was thinking about you all the time. But please clap for this great athlete. She really is.
I have a question. Do you have any eligibility left? Come on back!
I'd rather have Sam.
I would like to invite Candace Peterson to come speak on behalf of Megumi, please.
Good evening. I am honored to be here tonight to talk about my tennis partner, Megumi Yokoyama. As you may have seen in your program, her stats are unbelievable. We were so lucky, the tennis team, to have found her playing tennis one day with my roommate, who was a Japanese exchange student. My roommate's name was Yu, and Yu was playing with, we didn't know Megumi at the time, and we were thinking, who is this person she's playing with? She's really, really good. And so when I was back in my room, our room that night, where I was asking her who she was playing with, and she said, oh, you know, she's a freshman this year, she's new, she's never played tennis on an organized team. She just picked it up and likes to play. And we said, well, she really needs to play on the tennis team. So we recruited her, and she came. She didn't speak a lot of English, so that was kind of difficult. But there would be days where our tennis coach, Mickey Smith, would be calling me saying, is Megumi going to come today? Does she know where we're supposed to meet? And she's like, can you find you and tell Megumi that we're leaving in 20 minutes? But Megumi always showed up because she loved to play tennis, and she was an incredible tennis player. I had the privilege of playing doubles with her, and she made me look really, really good. She was great at the net. She was great at the, at the backcourt. She was great everywhere. And when I played with her, we were undefeated, and it was just an amazing honor to have done that. So, although Megumi couldn't be here tonight, her stats are just impeccable, and I'm hard-pressed to think that there'll be somebody here at Cedar Crest who will be able to match the ability that she had playing tennis with both her right hand and her left hand, depending on which way the ball was going. She needed no coaching at all, and she helped lead the 1996 tennis team to the first PAC championship here at Cedar Crest College. That year in 1996, she went 12-0 in singles. She was 10-0 in doubles, so for an overall record of 22-0. And by the time she finished her career here at Cedar Crest, her singles record is 40-0. Yeah. Her doubles record was 31-3. So for an overall 71-4 record her time at Cedar Crest. She was a 3-time PAC Player of the Year, and she was named All-Conference 3 times as well. So please join me in recognizing Megumi Yokoyama tonight.
That is so impressive. I cannot imagine just switching hands. I mean, I can't even hit with one hand. It just goes over the fence. My softball swing, I guess, but to be able to switch hands, that would have been awesome to see, I must say. Okay. Now I'd like to welcome Gracia Perilli to come speak on behalf of the 1997 Championship Lacrosse team.
Good evening. Before we get started here, I just want to thank the Hall of Fame committee. To put an event together like this is incredible. That hair, that was bad. They dumped water on my head. I just so you all know that. To put an event together like this takes a lot of time and energy. So thank you to all of you for an amazing evening. To the inductees, congratulations. It's an honor for me to be here tonight with all of you. I was asked to talk about the '97 lacrosse team. This was not your typical team by any stretch of the imagination. They had a coach, me, who knew nothing about the game of lacrosse. And on a 17-team roster, or man roster, 3/4 of those players never played the game of lacrosse or picked up a stick prior to coming to Cedar Crest College. But to be honest with you, I don't know that really mattered because they were all athletes. We had field hockey players, we had basketball players, we had tennis players, we even had a bodybuilder on the team. And every single one of those people brought something to the table. Okay? For example, Jen Schreiner and Jen Hartman were probably the only 2 people on the team who had ever played. Well, Clem, I know, but I mean, Clem, I'm getting to you. Just relax. I'm getting to you. So, not only, I'm getting abused already. Were they experienced, but they were also extremely talented. All right? You too, Clem. And every day they would come into my office and we'd sit down and talk about what are we going to do at practice. Now understand, I coach basketball, so I had a clue about how to run a practice. I just needed somebody to translate basketball into lacrosse. And that's what they helped me to do. And then we would go out to the field, and it was on them, ultimately, to teach their teammates how to hold a stick, catch a ball, throw it, teach me the rules. That was kind of helpful. But they kind of got us all started. Then you have Jill Kainz, our goalie. Jill hated practice. Hated it. And every day I pushed Jill, and every day Jill pushed right back. So that was somewhat of an adventure, I have to be honest. But when it was time to play the game, Jill was there. And in fact, when we went into the championship game that day, that Saturday, Jill, I don't even know what happened to her, but she played a game like I have never seen before in my life. And she walked away as the game MVP. Then we had Betsy Van Horn. Betsy was the fire, let's say. She had terrible, terrible shin splints. And on any given day, we didn't know she could walk, more or less run. But every day, Betsy was out there sprinting from one end of the field to the other. You could always count on Betsy. So when we were having one of those sluggish days, Betsy was the one to pick you up. And trust me when I tell you, no one argued with Betsy. Okay, so Betsy, really kept everybody moving in that respect. Clem, Michelle, she was the entertainment. Okay, we'd be out there and, she might not be directly involved in the drill, and she'd start to dance, like the shuffle off the buffalo. I don't even know what she was doing. Or she'd sing a song, or just start to laugh hysterically at herself. Like we didn't know what was happening half the time with Clem. But she was our best defensive player on the field. And sorry. But she was assigned, obviously, to shut down their top scorer. And game in and game out, those poor girls did not know what was happening to them. I mean, she just completely shut them down. So thank you to Clem for that. Bern Salick. She was very serious, very focused. She was a freshman at the time, right? Nice, yeah. Never played lacrosse. So she was always Bern was always thinking about something. Bern was going. And she worked very hard. I mean, she went out there every day to give you 100%, no doubt. But we needed Bern to kind of settle herself down and just do what came to her instinctively versus thinking about what to do. Bern could recognize a bird by its call. So in the middle of practice, you'd hear this tweet thing going on, and everybody would just look to Bern. Now we're in the middle of a drill here, and Bern's running past me going, red-tailed pigeon, I don't even know. But for a second, Bern forgot what she was doing and just played. So, when we went on the road, that was even better because, different towns, different birds. I mean, there was a great thing going on. But Bern came to play every day. So that was great about Bern. Kim Sewell. Kim Sewell was extremely competitive. In fact, she probably still is. But when you met Kim, you looked at her and said, what a nice girl. She looked harmless. Just this cute little thing that floated around all the time. All was good. She was the first line of defense, ultimately. So player would get the ball from the other team, try to get up the field. Sewell just sprinted at them. And if she didn't get you to change direction or force you into a double team, she just checked the ball right out of your stick. But the beauty of Sewell was she would trample her own mother to get to the ball. So here's this cute little thing, and she just pummels you, picks the ball up, throws it ahead to the offense, and just goes prancing back to her spot, and just looks at me and smiles, like, hey, that was fun, So there you had Sewell. Then we had Megan Jester. I don't know which was faster, her mouth or her legs. Right, she's dying to say something right now. I see it. There you go. That's what, no. Megan was extremely fast, extremely fast. And the whole thing was, if we can get the ball to Megan, Megan, you run. Run as fast as you can down that field. And we knew once she got past the first line of defense, they were in trouble. Now the beauty of Megan, besides being quick, she was the point guard on the basketball team. So this was a fast break to Megan. So she knew she could either pass it off to somebody, go right to goal, or pull it out. But regardless of what her choice was, most of the time when she led the charge, we were putting the ball in the cage. When I was learning about this happening and people were getting invitations, I got a phone call from a mom, and she says to me, "Is the bubbly one going to be there?" And I'm like, "You mean Vanessa?" That would be Vanessa. Yes, Vanessa's the bubbly one. Vanessa kept the team organized. She was like the team leader on and off the field. She organized, you know, the team dinners and made sure everybody knew what time to get to practice. And, you know, she took care of everybody. And, you know, I had just gotten a new car, and I'm going out to the field. And next thing I know, I hit, honk, you know, somebody's laying on a horn. This car has two wheels coming right at me, coming up the back of Lee's. And I'm like, that looks just like my car. And then I'm like, oh my God, it is my car. And there's Vanessa in the driver's seat. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, Grace, I wanted to make sure the car was safe, so I took it out for a ride. And while I was out, I figured I'd just pick everybody up for practice so they wouldn't have to walk. Now they're from Steinbright. I don't know. Next thing I know, I see sticks flying out the window, bags flying out the window, bodies rolling out. She brought the whole team to practice. I walked over to her, said, give me the keys. And then I knew to just lock them up forever and never let her find the keys to my car. I think you kind of get the gist of the person. Okay. But what made this team very special was they had a tremendous work ethic. They didn't just wait for practice to work on their skills. They were out there hours before helping one another. They respected one another, they supported one another, and they encouraged each other to just go out and try as hard as they could. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, and this is a group of women that I will never, ever forget. They put themselves out there every day for the good of the team. Everything they did to represent this institution and to make Cedar Crest College proud. And when they went to Cabrini that day, they knew they were in for a fight, but I knew that they were ready. And together, they played the game of their life. And when they returned to campus that day, they were champions. So it is my pleasure to introduce the 1997 PAC champion, Cedar Crest College lacrosse team.
Get them organized, Ness. I got Betsy Van Horn. I think I remember that. No, I didn't take care of it. I got Cece. Where's James? Where's Jill? Yeah. So sorry, I didn't. Jester, where's Jester?
Where is it?
So they
Sorry. Oh, no.
ask all the inductees after the ceremony, we're going to pull the media backdrop out and we'll have a nice official picture as well.
I think we need a round of applause.
Yes.
I missed that.
Well, this concludes our 2013 Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony. We plan on making this an annual event, so we wish you to continue to support all the future inductees. Before we depart, as you know, in the world of college athletics, it truly takes a team effort to get things done. So with that, I would like the following people to stand and be recognized. Our Assistant Athletic Director for Communications and Media Relations, Greg Bossler, the man behind the camera. Our Dynamic Graduate Assistant for Marketing and Special Events, Laura Hennessy. Our NCAA Intern and Assistant to the Director, Samantha Donlin. Also the Assistant Softball Coach. My husband, Keith McGurk, who did a lot of running around for flowers and the alcohol provided this evening. Susan Cox, the Executive Director of Alumni Relations. Deborah Khatib, the Director of Development. President Ambar, of course. And last but not least, Dr. Diane Moyer, Jacqueline Sham, Candace Peterson, and Gracia Perilli for speaking on behalf of the inductees. Your time and efforts have been truly appreciated and has really made this evening special. In closing, I promise I'll make this brief. I would like to again thank you for attending. It's my hope that you will visit our new athletic website when it launches on May 1st. It's really going to be dynamic. There you'll find information related to upcoming alumni events, such as our athletic homecoming on October 12th, nomination forms for future inductees into the Athletic Hall of Fame, the Junior Falcon memberships, and so much more. Together we fondly reflect on the achievements and accomplishments of the past with an eye for the future of Cedar Crest athletics. Thank you again, drive safely, and we hope to see you at future events. Thank you.